The source material for this video is presented in context. Included media from other sources may be edited for runtime and redundancy, for edutainment purposes only. David Pakman led me astray. He spoke so much about the DSA's new program before transitioning to mentioning Hasan Piker that I thought they must be related, and I worked too hard on research. The relationship between the DSA's platform and Hasan Piker's speech is that they're both embarrassing for the Democratic Party. Hasan does associate himself with the DSA, so in theory, some of the things we're about to learn about the DSA's program will be included in his speech. Don't worry, both are more hysterical than historical.
It's my hot body, I'll do what I want.
It's showtime.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
Republicans, back in 2010, their leaders, laughed at the Tea Party.
Look at that!
Conspiracy theorists, they're far-right internet trolls, they're not going to do anything. And then the Tea Party took over local organizations, threatened primaries, built their own media universe, and eventually were part of a process that gave us Donald Trump.
And this is why Americans don't drink high tea. Tea parties are dangerous.
The left and Democrats can't make the same mistake. There is a small group of far-left extremists gaining influence inside youth groups and party organizations.
Are you sure? Because whenever I go to any of the local meetings or protests, almost everybody is a boomer.
Because they spend all day online.
Which would explain why I don't see them IRL.
Organizing and enforcing ideological purity and attacking anyone who disagrees.
Hasan Piker isn't the only one who does this, but he is one of the loudest.
Now, there are things in DSA, for example, Democratic Socialists of America, that are good and that I agree with. But there's also some stuff in there that I think doesn't make any sense.
So are you talking about the extremists? Or are you talking about the DSA? Or are you saying that they're the same thing?
I saw their new platform. It promises a country where you have no debt, you pay no rent, no mortgage, you receive publicly funded housing, publicly funded retirement, food, education, energy, medicine, transportation, and it sounds incredible because it is incredible.
I love when people use a word's original meaning. The prefix in means not, and the word credible means, believable, so incredible means not believable. I know you really needed to know that.
How would they create it? Government ownership of the largest corporations and of entire industries, universal rent control, abolishing police and prisons, and abolishing the Senate and replacing our political system.
And having gone through it myself, I can tell you that it's a wish list worthy of Santa Claus. Or Jesus Christ.
Some of these ideas are reasonable to a degree. For example, I support universal healthcare, and I've talked about 4 or 5 ways that we could get to it.
Then you're ahead of the DSA because they have no plan of action for any of their ideas.
I want affordable housing, and I've done a dozen interviews with housing experts on what wouldn't work to get us there.
Yeah, they don't really have a plan for that either.
I support progressive taxation. We need to collect more taxes from the very rich. Voting rights have been hurt in this country.
Nope, no action plan, just wishes.
We need police reform.
And again, we have no plan.
So there's elements of this that are great, and any social democrat like me will tell you we got to do that. But you bundle it together, and this fantasy in which capitalism, private industry, and major parts of the government simply disappear, most Americans don't want that.
Well, this is very entertaining. What does it have to do with Hasan Piker's speech at the CDA?
I saw a crazy thing from the weekend where there was a college Democrats convention, which I was actually invited to participate in, and I couldn't make it.
You're just feeling guilty because by not going, Hasan Piker became the main speaker.
Hasan Piker was dressed like Mao.
Maui? Like Dwayne Johnson in the live-action Moana with a weird bodysuit that doesn't have nipples?
And I guess Destiny tried to show up and he was banned from entering allegedly because the Mao-dressed Piker didn't want him there.
Mao Zedong cosplay just isn't as much fun.
Republicans are going to put these clips everywhere.
What do you mean by clips? Do you mean clips showing the DSA's new program? Do you mean clips of Destiny being turned away from the conference? Do you mean clips of Hasan Piker's speech? Because I got that. In fact, I don't just have clips. I got the whole damn thing. And that's what we're going to take a look at right now.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the second leg of our journey here, heading to the conference hall for the College Democrats of America National Convention, where I will be delivering the opening remarks, right?
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy.
See, I think he has stopped lifting. He looks like an awkward teen wearing dad's suit to the prom.
Our next guest practices freedom of speech the way some of us practice doom scrolling.
Hasan's very stream is doom scrolling. He just talks while he's doing it.
Constantly, intensely, and sometimes for several consecutive hours, College Democrats, it is my pleasure to welcome Hasan Piker.
It's certainly no Hall H. Probably has a max capacity of 300.
Is this the one? No, okay. This is what we're using, right? Okay. This might be a little...
Put it on the top.
I'm gonna fix it.
You don't have to tell everybody every single step of what you're doing, unless you have to talk aloud in order to accomplish physical tasks. Might be that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit short for me, unfortunately, so apologies.
Hey, look, he could just pick it up and move it higher on the lectern, and now it's at the right height, but I think he's about to use it incorrectly anyways.
Okay. Brought a little bit of Diet American Dew with me on stage.
They're so hype. This is the first time they're seeing Hasan drink a soda that isn't on the BDS list.
Reflecting pool colored.
She's got jokes.
Delicious. Not a sponsor. Just putting that out there.
Well, yeah, socialist guy. But the way you're talking, it sounds like you may be sponsored by other companies, when in reality, all of the money you need comes from your audience.
It's a great honor to be here in the heart of the American empire, in the belly of the beast.
If Washington, D.C. is the belly of the beast, I don't think you should be there. That beast wants to eat ya. And you've fed yourself to it, figuratively.
Speaking to the future activists of the Democratic Party, but as an outsider currently pushing for an insurgency.
That's great. There's one guy there who agrees with you.
To be honest, when I first got the call from this organization, I first said, I don't know what that is, I'll be honest. I apologize.
You still don't know the name of the organization. You're not saying it.
And then they told me they hadn't held a national convention of this size since the Nixon era.
That's not surprising. It's a relatively small organization with about 100,000 members across the country.
So give yourselves a round of applause for that.
It reads like a joke when the camera pans, so you see the size of the room and the empty chairs, and it feels like a joke.
And then I was a little worried. I'll admit. Me and the Democratic Party were not so close as of late, as many of you know. I thought to myself, perhaps the Center for American Progress has set up a trap for me.
There's no reason to bring another organization into this. You can make a joke with the organization you're actually speaking at, you know.
Dear attendant, are you in the room? I apologize for everything I've said.
CEO for the Center of American Progress. She's 55, so I don't think she's part of the College Democrats of America.
After all, it's not a secret that there are many, many people in the Democratic Party that wish that I would go away.
I thought this speech was about to be your hopes for the Democratic Party, not about you.
Who wish that this movement would go away. Well, I'm here to tell you, we're here to stay.
Yeah, but who is included in the collective pronoun we?
Now, a lot of people, including probably your future employers or your current employers, they call me a lot of names.
Did he forget he was speaking to undergrads? And when he talks about future employers, is he assuming that they're all going to work for people in Washington, D.C.?
They say I'm an idealist.
Nobody says that. You're saying that about yourself, but nobody says that about you.
A radical, a terrorist.
The Democratic establishment doesn't label you as a terrorist. You are a supporter of terrorists, but you are not labeled as a terrorist yourself.
But the one thing that they don't call me is a liar. And I think that anyone who wants a better future for the world, let alone this country, needs to understand that it is our job to always seek truth from facts.
Holy crap. He isn't cosplaying Mao at all. He's cosplaying Deng Xiaoping.
We must always expand our knowledge of the world around us and to use that knowledge to build a worldview. And then we can move on to change the world. And the reason why I stress this.
Stress what? The development of a worldview? The Germans even have a whole word for it I can never say correctly. Weltanschauung. Is that right?
Is because a lot of people, they see this as a career. And I work with a lot of campaigns.
I don't think you do. You have started to work with campaigns, yeah, but there aren't a lot of them, and it's not something you've done historically. It's a recent practice.
I've worked with establishment Democrats in the past.
When? Where? Having them on your stream for an interview doesn't count as working with them, you know.
And right now I'm working with a lot of democratic socialists all around the country. And the one difference that I always see is moral conviction. Moral conviction to always say the truth.
Which Hasan has none of. Or maybe he does, and he thinks his truth is the ultimate truth.
And an endless thirst to understand exactly what's going on.
I don't like Hasan using the word thirst. It makes me uncomfortable.
We have a lifetime of social conditioning that has guided our lives.
Really? A lifetime of conditioning has guided our lives with its lifetime of conditioning?
That has motivated the way that we see the world. Sometimes that means we have a lot of blind spots.
And you used to be one of them, but we're not blind to you anymore.
But moral conviction is really important.
Is really important. Couldn't you thrown that through ChatGPT so it at least gave you the word essential instead?
Because that is what makes the difference between the insurgents and the establishment Democrats that are simply following along.
Ew. Oh, ew. Oh, I do not like that. No, I do not like what he's doing here. He's labeling people who want to make change in his fashion as insurgents, which is the same thing he calls terrorists.
And I think that anyone and everyone here.
He's fumbling a bit because he expected applause for the line about insurgents.
Must constantly push for this. This task takes on a new importance today. Lies and disinformation are the currency of our enemies on the right.
No, that's just a tactic. Currency is their currency.
Unable to compete with us over here in reality, right-wingers instead try to make humanity live in their dangerous fantasy land.
Is their fantasy land dangerous because they still have the Skyway ride that people jump out of?
Constantly finding new enemies in our neighborhoods to position as a reason for why we are all experiencing the same struggles born out of capitalism.
That's a gross oversimplification. Capitalism isn't literally the cause of all evil. As we all know, the cause of all evil is Stephen King's dog, Molly.
But sometimes, I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah, and when your glass is half full, you get up, walk to your mini fridge, and grab a new Dr. Pepper.
When the right traffics and lies, the lane for telling it like it is wide open.
Traffic as a verb is very different from traffic the noun. Your figurative language fails, sir.
And whoever can do that, whoever can tell the truth, they will own the future.
I assume you're using they as a collective plural pronoun because, well, you're not one of them.
But people fail this basic test all the time, especially in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm sure that many of you in this room feel the same energy that I do.
They can't. You didn't share your drink with them.
Get into the taste that's new with the airborne thrust of rocket fuel.
A feeling shared by more and more people all the time of frustration. Frustration with decades of political ineptitude in the face of rising fascism.
Because he is addressing a democratic organization, this statement actually makes sense and I don't disagree with it. Good job, Hasan.
Many people in this room have only known Trump, but to the older folks here and also watching at home, think about that for a second.
You're not addressing older folks. You're addressing a college organization. There are no older folks. You need to explain it to them.
The only politics that people in this room have ever known is shot through with Donald J. Trump. Political life shaped from above by a narcissistic tyrant who enriches himself, his ridiculous family, the Epstein class, as well as the billionaires who were smart enough to get caught, smart enough to avoid getting caught. Sorry.
I'm proud of him for recovering too.
As well as the billionaires who were too smart to get caught, going to Little St. James, and even a billionaire who was uninvited from Little St. James Island because his lives were that atrocious for the pedophiles.
Who the fuck cares what pedophiles think?
Although American politicians have never been much at truth-telling, for over 10 years, the terms of our discourse have been set by a megalomaniacal pervert.
With whom you have a lot in common. It's actually kind of creepy.
The late writer Mike Davis summed up our situation well in his final published essay a few years ago. He said, "Unlike the high Cold War when Politburos, parliaments, presidential candidates, and general staffs to some extent balanced megalomania at the top, there are few safety switches between today's maximum leaders and Armageddon."
I don't like it. I don't think that it counts if we start with the Cold War and move on from there. I think we need to go a lot further back. But then again, I am not Mike Davis, who was born in 1946. So of course he's going to focus on the eras he grew up in.
Never has so much fused economic, media, and military power been put into so few hands.
This is a worthy point. Even people like William Randolph Hearst didn't have the ability to control so many different forms of media that are new to us here in the future, which is the present. I need to remember that.
To you, young people of America who have chosen to enter the world of electoral politics, I know that you have grown up in this degraded era where bigotry and deceit are so blatantly rewarded in society.
And you've done a wonderful job with them. Your fan base doesn't recognize your bigotry against Black, Asian, and Jewish people. Your persona is deceitful. You pretend to be a socialist when you thrive in a capitalist society that gave you both millions of dollars and the currency of notoriety.
An era in which our rulers would rather choke us with wildfire smoke than re-examine how our way of life damages our planet.
No, that's not it at all. They're very well aware of the damage that global warming has caused the planet. The problem is all of the politicians are supported by really rich people who made their money in dirty energy, like coal.
The only home we'll ever know.
He looks very uncomfortable. It's like he can't deal with crowds of people unless they're digital.
This wretched era in which the third world is staring down disaster because of the upheaval caused by ours and Israel's war on Iran.
When you say third world, do you mean the original Cold War definition of non-aligned countries or the modern colloquial definition of developing countries? Because the war with Iran is affecting developed countries too.
This ridiculous era in which a Supreme Court dominated by religious nutjobs rewrites our laws at will.
No, they're not rewriting our laws at will. They're choosing to take cases that are presented to them. They don't take every case and they don't just make up laws willy-nilly.
In this world, I know even just a little bit of truth can feel like a life raft.
Which is why you're so stingy with it. The truth is a life raft with no room for anyone else. You wanted Jack to die, didn't you? They wanted Jack to die too?
It's why so many of you are in this room.
You probably should have rewritten that line when you saw the size of the room.
Because you meet other people like yourselves and you talk about these problems together and you feel both less alone and closer to the truth.
Then they're doing this wrong. You're supposed to meet people unlike yourselves. You're supposed to expand your own circles to encompass multiple cultures and different lifestyles. You think everybody should be the same?
Now, it's fair to say, as I've repeated over and over again, as you all know, that I am not a friend of many people in the Democratic Party. But that's okay. In politics, if you're everyone's friend, then you're no one's friend.
But how do you distinguish friendship from coalition building?
But I am here today because the times have gotten very strange and new political opportunities are all around us.
You read those books too. I love the Stranger Times.
Chances for us to push radical political change through an electoral system that right now is going through a transformation.
That's why there are so many unhappy conservatives. Our electoral system is trans.
You can feel the changes with every news story. This sense of backlash that's in the air.
No, that's not how backlash works. You can't use it that way.
Inflation is not under control. Data centers that no one wants are taxing energy grids, fueling an AI bubble that may not really replace you, but will get you laid off regardless.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on.
It seems like every week, our masked Gestapo, ICE, kills another innocent person.
I'd go with every day, because we're not just talking about the citizens that ICE has murdered. We're talking about people who have been taken to concentration camps.
In all my years, I don't remember seeing this much blood on American pavement.
You can't use that statement. You didn't live in America until you were a legal adult going to college. You didn't grow up here, so you missed several instances of blood, like the LA riots, for example. Wait, were you even born yet?
I often say that the United States is an empire in decline.
Yeah, you need a new line.
And home, that means we are a nation in crisis.
That wasn't the new line. Try a different one.
But where so much of Washington sees dangerous instability, I and many of you see promise. I see a real opportunity to change this country's trajectory, to improve the lot of humanity. And I know you feel it too.
There are people who speaking these words would be inspiring to me. Hasan is not one of them.
It's rooms like these that remind me just how many people see right from wrong.
But the room is so tiny. It's a teeny tiny room.
And want to do something about it.
The audience is not responding as strongly to this statement as others, which means to me that they have looked around at the room they're in and realized, wait, there aren't that many of us here.
All around the country, we're getting real fighters elected. Fighters who see the crisis and can describe it in clear and truthful terms.
Thank you for self-disqualifying from running for public office.
This means demanding an end to the endless wars.
You just defined the wars as endless. You can't end something that's endless. Gosh, you really need to cut back on those adjectives.
An end to profiteering off of healthcare. An end to the rule by people who put the interests of capital over the interests of the working class.
Okay, I'm here for this bit. You got me back for a second. Don't disappoint me.
It's talk like this that has Washington terrified. It's talk like this that has MAGA terrified.
Can't disagree with that. I've seen conservative news media.
These people in hate movements who try to control our lives are most afraid of popular action, of democracy, of the people.
And you know all about hate movements. You're the leader of one.
They're afraid of us because of the simple fact that there are more of us than there are of them. There always have been, and there always will be.
That ignores the possibility and ambition of a post-scarcity society where people are more socially equivalent because we don't have the ability to hoard wealth because it no longer exists. Hasan needs to watch Star Trek.
There are more good, decent people with moral conviction who find it unfathomable that the wealthiest nation on earth chooses to spend its billions blowing up schools overseas rather than building schools in our neighborhoods.
More More than what? Did you mean to say more and more people?
Kind people who can't understand why, in the wealthiest nation on earth, there are hundreds of thousands of people who will go to sleep outside tonight, and millions more who live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, he's not getting as much applause for this because he made the implication that unhoused people have no autonomy and can be forced to do what the state thinks they should do.
Hardworking people, frustrated that an honest day of labor delivering packages, cleaning counters, or teaching children is no longer enough to take care of a family or own a home.
Delivery driver, counter cleaner, teacher. 2 of those are jobs, one of them is a task.
All the while, the world's wealthiest man sits around tweeting racist screeds and unfunny jokes
Says the man addicted to Twitter.
As people grow his net worth into the trillions.
That statement gives me imagery of fields and groves where all of the plants have dollar bills for leaves, and there are all these farm workers picking those dollar bills for Elon Musk. Oh, come on, that imagery is hilarious.
I should add that none of this is an accident. The inequality is the design of our system. When you see broken downtowns in a state of disrepair, or potholes that never get filled, or homeless people suffering in the streets, remember
that Hasan Piker equivocated the unhoused with economic failure and infrastructure, not noticing that he was talking about people as if they were a blight to the attractiveness and usability of an American city or town.
This is the design.
And he knows because he wears a lot of designer fashion.
Of our system. It is not the moral failings of the individual, but a whole architecture where the ultra-rich stick their hands in the pockets of everyone else.
Oh, shush with your Jean Valjean philosophy. The rich do not force people into immorality. You're again taking autonomy away from individual human beings who are capable of making their own choices. It's not the wealthy class that causes all problems. They might start problems, they might create a society in which problems are more likely to happen, but people still need to take personal responsibility for their decisions.
Just as every person who has no shelter is a policy failure.
No, they're not. They're not objects, they're human beings. Why don't you see unhoused as human beings?
Every billionaire is a policy failure.
But everyone cheers for this one because it's okay to dehumanize billionaires. Is it?
But just as every billionaire is a policy failure, every congressperson who's refused to change these policies have failed you, have failed all of us.
But what are these policies? I don't know which policies you're talking about. The most you've done is make gentle allusions to policies.
We have placed corporate interests above the interests of the people. I say no more.
No more. No more what? You haven't really explained anything other than saying that we have a wealthy class that controls the media, we have too many unhoused people, and our streets have potholes.
And we say no more.
No more. No, audience, you're not supposed to clap. You're supposed to stand up and start cheering, throwing your hats in the air. If you have hats. Do people wear hats?
I've traveled all around the country.
No, you haven't. You haven't traveled all around the country. You've traveled to and from what? Michigan? New York? That's not the whole country. You know there's 50 states, right? And right now, you're not even in one of them.
I've talked to countless people.
Hasan, 20 people isn't countless. You've got enough fingers and toes to figure that out, right?
Over dozens of protests, gone to rallies, I've gone to marches.
Yeah, that's where you actually talk to the people. And you put it on stream so we know exactly how many people you talk to.
I've gotten shot at.
No, I don't think you have. Not even rubber bullets, but you were near where some of those things happened. So you're going to include yourself.
By my own law enforcement that I pay with my taxes the salary of.
You privileged white boy. You have not been shot at with real or rubber bullets, and you have not been personally attacked by the police. You have observed these things, and you want to claim them because it gives you more credibility. And people buy it, which is why there are people like me to point out that it's absolutely incredible.
And all I ever hear from the people by my side is no more.
Stop it! No more!
And not just, thank you. And not just the no more to Trumpism, but no more.
No more.
To the Democrats who compromise, who conciliate, and who betray us.
Wait, the Democrats have betrayed me? Oh my gosh, I'm so pissed off. I'm gonna agree with everything Hasan says.
No more to the fascist reactionaries, but no more to the Democrats who will collaborate and cooperate with the fascists, who will fund ICE, who will fund Israel, who will help poison the planet, who will stiff workers and help bosses. We don't need those Democrats anymore.
Wow, that's like the fourth thing he said in this speech that I actually agree with.
In fact, we have a message.
Dude, you are I, but you're not we. Why are you pointing to yourself? You should be pointing to the people in the crowd. That really, really big crowd in that huge room.
We are coming.
You know it only counts if we're coming together.
We are on boss. We're on bot. We're on bound. And we will become undeniable.
You're welcome. I mean, not really. I don't want you anywhere near the Barbie bunker.
And then he runs away like a little conker in the night.
And if you get that reference, I'm pretty impressed. After watching these videos and doing this reading, I have come to the only conclusion, which is that Hasan fans are angry with David Pakman for misidentifying Hasan's Deng cosplay as Mao cosplay. What else is there? Thank you for joining us. If you're still with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And you don't have to leave a comment about the camera. We're never using it again. It was a huge mistake, and we're going back to what we were doing before. So I'll see you next time, and I promise to look better when I do. Bye.